Her background is nerd.
Darren should have gone to school here instead of Cutter, because you are a devil. I can tell you that right now.
She rolls in like she's a Hollywood movie star now. She just here, hey, she's just here for the camera.
I guess I tooted.
No hard-hitting questions here.
Yeah,
Shall we talk about my one-sentence resignation?
Welcome to the next episode of Spilling the Tea in Studio D.
Mm-hmm.
We have somewhat made it, Candace. This is the last one.
Best for last.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Don't tell the other co-ops I said that.
No, yeah. Well, I think you just did. So, yeah. Well, and I love the shirts this year. They I would say they stripped us of our title, but we didn't even rise to the level of even playing them this year.
We made it past the first round.
No, yep. We kind of spanked y'all. I mean, it was pretty easy.
Yeah.
It was pretty easy.
It was terrible. Yeah. But here's what I will say for Saundra. All night long, I kept hearing Scott going, That's my partner.
That's my partner.
But I never heard her say that.
She carried us. I don't know why I tell you. After we got done that first day, we had to go ice her arm down. She's kind of chucking them in there. And then
I not one time heard her reciprocate.
No, not at all.
I was waiting on him to show up.
Hey, my job was just throw the bean bags back to her so she could hit them in the holes and the board.
And talk smack. That's the
absolutely.
Part.
Yeah, I'm good at that part.
That's where we were good.
We're good at talking smack. But, before the cornhole tournament that night at the conference, I'm like walking out and I fell. Luckily, it was only Willie and Kelsey were in there. Well, then he was like going to his car to get luggage or whatever, and I walked out. I'm like, I just fell. He goes, did you hurt your throwing arm? I'm like, no.
Exactly.
Thanks for the concern.
I did not hurt my throwing arm. But
at that point, that was the level of care that I had.
Yeah, it was so funny.
You didn't want to put her on the DL, did you? The disabled list.
That's right. So Scott Gauntt, Saundra Lamberson, right? Okay.
Correct. Good job.
Yeah, we practice names here, there, and everywhere because, I mean, I've been there 10 years and had a pretty good, list of in my head of who was who. And then, since probably the last couple of years, we've had some turnover.
Yeah.
So, and it's kind of scary to think me at 10 years next to Phoebe have been in this seat longer than any of the other ones. So,
crazy.
I mean, it went. Yeah, we had some turnover throughout, but that happens. Education, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
What's the sign on your doors today? We talked about last podcast. Above your doors.
Work hard and be kind.
Yeah, I was in the facility, and you stole that and left off something. I read a sign they have.
Huh?
It says, "Be humble."
Well,
Work hard.
Actually, like when my daughter graduated, that's one of the things I put in her. They did a senior page, and you always put, I put, be humble, work hard.
So,
be kind.
but it's kind of
stay humble. It was stay humble.
Yeah, stay
whatever.
Stay humble. But that didn't quite make it to her sign.
No, I'm very humble.
Yeah,
I'm very
transition,
humble.
did it?
Listen. It was part of my sign, but Katie did the sign. She removed the stay humble.
Yeah.
Okay. See?
Yeah.
See?
You know
There's
what?
the truth right there.
See? But you know what I'm saying? Hey, you know her better than anybody. Yeah, humble.
Whatever.
Yeah, exactly. If Tim McGraw,
they know you're lying
if
right
you had
now.
written a song for Tim McGraw, it would have said, "Stay working hard and be kind."
Lightning is about to strike you right now. You're about to be in trouble.
I'm glad you're by that seat.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, she's a lot of things, but humble. I don't know. So, but I just found that ironic. You're always bragging about your sign back there. You know what I'm saying? Anyway.
My sign, it's not even, and now I'm not even in that office, so it's not even above there.
Yeah, again, because why is she not in that office? It wasn't big enough.
Because
she went from
her head wouldn't fit.
Exactly.
That is such a lie.
Went from a broom
you are
closet.
Lying
went from
right
a
now.
broom closet to a room about this size.
Do you want me to tell you?
Yeah.
Let's just tell the truth, okay?
Oh, Lord.
So I moved because our business office grew, so they needed to put 2 people. So they graciously gave up my office, went to the next door.
Just a giver, aren't you?
Yes.
She is, yeah.
So then,
so humble.
like, we still had another person, and instead of putting them in the big conference room, I'm like, just put me in the corner. I'm not going to be there most of the time anyway, and it's warmer in there because I always get cold. That was before hot flashes. But anyway. So anyway.
Again.
Amen.
Yeah.
These are the conversations we have. Yeah.
I mean, you know,
I could
it's
write
fact of life.
I could write a chapter in a medical book about female issues since we've been doing this. But yeah,
Between me and Katie, yeah.
absolutely.
I know.
But in my
I know.
office, we have 9 women when we have everybody in there and me, right?
Yeah.
So some days I got to run down to AutoZone, crack open a can of brake fluid, and just go.
He's got to go talk to Michael
Yeah.
occasionally and be like, "Can you come over here?"
Exactly. So So anyway, well, enough about us.
Yeah.
right?
Okay.
Yeah. So you guys up here in Northeast Cooperative, up here in Walnut Ridge. Again, I'm somewhat familiar with the area. That's where I got my bachelor's, was at A-State.
Okay.
You guys go there?
Oh, yes. 3
Okay.
degrees.
Oh yeah. I've got my bachelor's radio television there, and then Henderson State for my master's degree in ed admin. So
So this RTV stuff is right up your alley, right?
yeah,
His
yeah,
alley.
Yeah,
his
he's-
alley.
Other
Yeah.
duties as assigned.
That's right.
Alley
Yeah.
over here.
Well,
yeah.
and it was so funny when we first, really and truly, we started talking about doing this. Candace was like, yeah, sounds okay, you know.
And then I found out we were going to be recorded. I'm like, I don't want to be on TV. Voice is bad enough because I'm super country, but whatever.
That's what I told him. I said, this face is for
Yeah.
radio.
I've heard that all my life.
Yeah.
So, but it's been, I don't know what we've been doing this 4 years now. I
Has it
think
been?
400
100
episodes.
Is
That's
this
awesome.
the 100th episode? Oh,
Okay.
101.
101.
Goodness,
Okay.
Yeah,
That's
That's
101.
impressive.
Like a cake.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, but
Okay.
I would like to say we've come a long way, but we really haven't.
You've driven a long way.
Yeah,
Right?
that's right. Literally, yeah. For
I've never
sure.
been here before though, so it's really
Oh,
pretty.
well,
Yeah.
welcome.
Yeah.
We like it here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So nice little spot out here, and that's probably been the coolest thing is getting to see all the co-ops.
Yeah.
You know, and
Yeah.
it's really been. We joke about it, but just getting to see the state of Arkansas too. We get to see some beautiful country driving
bet.
around, and
Yeah.
so it's been fun for the most part.
has.
Yeah. So until
Even riding with Darren, it's been okay.
yeah, exactly. So so let's just start this way. Tell us about your path to how you got here, education-wise, and maybe the other thing I like to ask about. I mean, why education? Was it a family thing or?
No, as a matter of fact, I was one of the first college graduates in my family.
Gotcha.
But had some teachers that really made an impact on me and got into coaching. I wanted to coach.
Yeah.
So did that for 12, 13 years and then transitioned to administration and spent 10 years at Paragould, working my way up from assistant principal to high school principal to
Right.
assistant soup. And
Yep.
then went to West Side there in Jonesboro and was there for 9 years. Had a great run.
Wow.
And then, of course, Daryl Blackston was here for 6 or 7 years, and
Right.
he was awesome. And
Yeah.
nobody wanted him to leave,
Yeah.
but he
Yeah.
retired on us, and they
Yeah.
honestly couldn't find anybody else to take it. So, they said, "No, you got to take
You're
it."
up, you're up, yeah.
It's not that they really wanted me; there just was nobody else.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I can relate.
I've made a career out of following people who really didn't do their job very well. So it always made me look better. But
Yeah.
I really failed at this one
Yeah.
because the
Yeah.
old saying, "You never want to be the man that follows the man."
That follows,
That's right.
yeah.
So
exactly.
I've got big shoes to fill.
I'm sure
Yeah.
you're doing great. Yeah. You can always call him too, huh?
Yeah,
oh,
absolutely.
Yeah, Daryl's a great guy.
Oh, yeah.
He's one of those guys. I literally feel better just knowing that guy.
Oh, absolutely.
You know.
Absolutely.
He's that kind of guy.
Yeah,
So,
he's as good as they come.
yeah.
Now, originally we're from.
I'm from Bryant.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, down in your area.
See, he's from our region.
Yeah.
I think I remember talking about this a little bit at the.
So how'd you end up in Northeast Arkansas?
Because I really wanted to go to Fayetteville out of high school, but Mom
Gotcha.
said there's too many parties in Fayetteville, so I had to come to ASU. Because there
Gotcha.
was no parties at ASU.
Yeah.
So
When I first got to ASU, they said, "Oh, it's a suitcase college."
Yeah.
I'm like, "What's that mean?" And they wasn't lying. Everybody
hey,
goes home on the
Friday,
weekend.
it's gone. It's
Yeah.
crickets.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
So-
we won't talk about Thursday night at Roy's.
No.
Yeah.
Don't talk about Roy's.
All I will say to that is, thank God there were no cell phones back then.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
that's a good thing.
So what year were you at ASU?
I was there from 85 to 89.
Okay, we crossed paths then. I was there,
Okay.
started in 88.
Okay,
Oh, wow.
gotcha.
That's
Gotcha.
neat.
Yeah. Yeah. I was a teak back
Okay.
in the day. So, yeah. So, in
The old teaks.
the Pizza Hut house. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So, well, Saundra, what about you?
So yes, no parents, no one from education. I never wanted to be a teacher. I didn't go to college to be a teacher. I went to A-State too, starting in '92, but was pre-med.
She
had
said
to
that
get-
to make sure she's a lot
I was-
younger than
Hey,
everybody
I'm
else.
after you guys.
Started Henderson in '92.
Uh,
See?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'd like to say we're
That
young,
was
but
sly,
I'm
wasn't
we
it?
are
Yeah,
young.
so
There's
We
that,
are
there's that
compared-
humbleness
yeah.
again.
Yeah,
There's
that's
that humble
exa-
brag again.
Exactly. That's right.
Humble brag.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. So pre-med, but then
Mm.
was in some science classes and came from graduated from Bay and some other, and I don't think I was cut out for it. I don't think it.
Right.
I worked at a doctor's office. They were great to me, but realized it's not for me. But I was so far in my zoology degree, I was like, I gotta finish it. So I went and finished my zoo degree, and there was nothing else to do with the zoo degree, and so I went to work in an office as a sales secretary. Is like, oh my gosh, I hate this.
Yeah.
I've got to get out. What's the fastest thing I can do with all these science hours? I said, I'll go get my education hours and go
Yeah.
teach. So went back to A-State, got my science hours in ed for high school science, biology, and then got a job and thought, I love this. I
Yeah.
absolutely loved being a teacher. You know, there's a path. I feel like that path was kind of picked out for me, and I finally figured out the path. And then went back, got my master's, went to UCI, got my master's in library media. So I thought it was kind of in that role, like, I'm kind of tired of this classroom, I want to do something else. And during that time, so I was getting my degree, I was going to take off. I was like, hey, husband, can I just finish this last little bit? So I stayed home. And the job, the co-op, there was in the
Right.
newspaper, this is how old I am. So in the newspaper, in the ads, there was a job for the co-op. And I was like, science specialist. And he was like, you think you can do that? I was like, I have no idea what a science specialist does at the
Right.
co-op, but I want to go talk to them. So I went and talked to them, and they hired me the day that I came and talked to them. And so I was
Awesome.
the science specialist here for 6 years, and then worked for the state for a science specialist for 5 years. And then, of course, Angie Carlton retired, and I
Right.
stepped in this role last year.
Okay.
Awesome.
So
Good.
I
Yeah.
love it here.
Yeah,
Awesome.
you know that pre-med, radio, TV, that
It's
real so
same.
close.
I mean,
yeah, same.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So close.
Yeah.
The requirements for those are almost identical.
Almost identical. Yeah. Well, yeah. So.
I
You
didn't
know,
realize you were here before
Yes.
you went to the state. That's
yes,
cool.
yes, I was the
Yeah.
science specialist here
That's
for
awesome.
6 years before that.
Yeah.
Yeah, love it.
Yeah. Well, the thing about education, like I said, I didn't necessarily have anybody. And my path to education really was my dad, in that he was on the school board for 17 years, and,
Oh, wow.
and really came from a small school, Fountain Lake out there, but ended up, he really valued education. That's why we went to Cutter Morning Star, again, another small school out that way. But when Fountain Lake came open, that's where I was superintendent, and I told Dad. And at the time, there was a little bit of just stuff going on, and I said, "So, Dad, what do you think?" And I said, "Sounds like it's pretty good opportunity. Some challenges, but that's why you do the things." He goes, "Yep." And he said, "Now, I graduated, and I think it's like 57, something like that." But he said, "So my picture's on the wall." I said, "Yeah, I got that." He said, "Well, don't screw it up." I said, "Okay, well, that's the words to live
Yes.
by right there."
Yeah.
So coming in, brand new to the co-op, any aha moments or enlightening moments that you've had so far?
Well, it's been kind of interesting, and I tell people now when they ask me what I do, I said, well, I'm in education light. I help people, but I
Right.
don't get to teach kids anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
you think you know what you're going to do when you get here until you get here and you realize, oh, that's the way it works.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And then you have to figure out how to navigate,
Navigate.
in that environment now. So it's been interesting. And
Yeah, it's the
I-
backside. It's like
Yes.
you're like, wow,
Yeah.
okay.
But the
Yeah.
staff is great here. The ladies, they've taken me in and pointed me in the right direction and slapped me in the back of the head
Yeah.
when I needed it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so,
Like,
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel the lady's pain. That's kind of how I am with Candace, dragging her along, slapping her in the head, that kind of thing. So.
Oh,
But
gosh.
it was kind of funny though when Candace came on board. She had worked for me. Actually, this is the true story. We student taught together. We did.
Henderson.
We worked
Wait a
together.
minute. You went in 92 and he went in 89 and y'all student taught together?
Yeah.
Well, but he came
Oh,
back
that's
to
right.
education later.
That's right.
That's right.
So,
So, yeah.
96.
Career too. Yeah.
Yeah.
96 is when we
Yeah.
interned
Yeah.
at Henderson.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then,
Yeah.
yeah. go
And
ahead.
then, so we were worked at Lakeside together,
Mhm.
and then had an opportunity to hire at Fountain Lake, and then brought her on at the co-op when Beth Neal retired. And it was kind of funny. She was mirrored my path a little bit again, in that it was going to be her daughter's. We have an only son; she has an only daughter. And she was like, I don't know. She said, that's going to be Sarah's senior year, and I said, trust me.
Yeah.
I said that was the coolest thing from going from superintendent just to be dad. That year, man, really
Oh,
loved
yeah.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, it really was great. It was great. She was
Yeah.
excited, you know.
Yeah.
She was like,
So-
yeah, mom's not.
Yeah.
Not here every day.
campus, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the thing is, I look back on it and go, who in the heck hires Candace twice? This guy.
Smart. Then
Yeah.
I have to say, gosh, he is smart.
Yeah.
Because he hired me twice.
Smarter than he looks,
He's
right?
smarter than he
Exactly.
looks, yeah.
But yeah. But the cool thing I think about this is a couple things. Obviously, is that the number of kids that you now have
Oh, yeah.
have the opportunity to impact, and,
Yeah.
and then the prescriptive part for the schools. You know, when they call up and say, "Hey, I need," or "Hey, we got this or that." But the thing about that versus sitting in the chair of being a superintendent and or principal is the fact that you have time to process things.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, and
Yeah. Well, we've been working with a number of our school districts and have really enjoyed that. You know, after being in the schools so long and then
Right.
getting out, I
Yeah.
enjoy being back in the
Yeah.
schools and
yeah.
and just seeing how they do things and seeing where we can help and of course we have a great room of superintendents and school districts,
Yeah.
so we enjoy getting out and seeing them.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, and you're probably like us. I mean, like a lot of people invested in us, and we learned from a lot of
Oh, absolutely.
teachers and administrators, and you can take that and share that with.
Oh, absolutely, standing on the
Which-
shoulders of giants.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, for
Which,
sure.
you know, goes back to what Darren says. You can hopefully help impact a lot of kids.
Yeah,
so.
and but you're right, getting out in the schools and you know, honestly seeing what all is going on, and like I said, even in the 10 years I've been doing co-ops, so many things have changed.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I was at a virtual Arkansas meeting yesterday, and you know, AI, what an incredible part it's playing now. I mean, it's almost scary to the point of one of the guys there had written, he had developed a bot, I'll say it that way, but it was for like Spanish 1, and he was just carrying on a conversation with that thing. It's
Really?
somewhat scary, yeah.
That's
Yeah.
interesting.
I mean, like he was asking, you know, it started, well, let's start with a few phrases. And then he says, you know, how do I say it's hot? And he gave him some phrase. He said, no, I said hot. And I mean, just like I said, just engaged right in the conversation. So, so with that being said, let's talk about a few things through the years maybe that you've seen or noticed that have changed for the good, the bad, or even the indifferent.
Well, I think the biggest thing right now is the PLC process and how
Right.
we utilize each other better.
Yes.
You know, the accountability piece is such a big part of every school district
Yeah.
now, but that PLC is such a great process, and when you can get it right, and those teachers and the admin are working together
Right.
to do what's best for our kids, it's amazing because, like I used to tell my staff all the time, we are so much smarter together than we ever are separately.
Oh,
Right.
absolutely.
And so just
Yep.
be able to build on each other and help each other out, I think
Yep.
it's a powerful thing.
Yep.
Right. Well, what about you, Saundra? With, I mean, you know, your path, like you said, school, State Department, co-op.
Right. You know, so I would think that the summative assessment to me has been the biggest shift, just being in the classroom and having, you know, benchmark tests in biology, and then transitioning
Yes.
a short while to Park, and then to ACT Aspire, and then to an assessment now that it mirrors our standards.
Right.
Because we haven't had that before, and so now, so before it was teaching to the test was a bad word, right? And so
Right.
we started getting good at the benchmark test, but then we changed tests, and that was kind of like, don't practice the test. But now, if our standards are the test, and we're teaching our standards, teaching the test, and now with the focus on rigor with ALDs,
Yep.
it's not just a check box anymore. It's really being masters of your craft in your classroom and making sure that we're setting the expectations for those kids to do that.
Yeah.
When before, it's, to me in high school, it was just let me tell you everything, and that
Yeah.
is not what it looks like. It's not what
Right.
it should look like
Right.
anymore.
Right.
So we're
Right.
trying to
Yeah,
make that switch.
and again, I think it's beneficial, like you're saying, on both sides. I mean, absolutely for the students, but and the teachers, their ability to get in there and own their craft. You
Yes.
know, so absolutely. So, you know, how many schools do you guys?
14.
14. Yeah. So you're probably like us. Although ours is like 22, but I think you can go from small to a larger.
Oh,
type.
yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, talk about, you know, making, again, that goes back to the prescriptive part, right? So,
Well, one of the good things about my path through education is I started at the smallest of schools, Black Rock, which
Yeah.
is not even here
Yeah.
anymore.
Right.
And then transitioned to Delaplane, which is not here anymore.
Right.
And then went to Hoxie as a 3A school, and then
Gotcha.
Paragould as a 5A school, and then Westside as a 4A. So I've been in every size school in our
Yeah.
co-op, and I can
Right.
Yeah.
I feel their pain. I understand what they need,
Right.
and
Yeah.
you know, because a lot of times if you've only been in big schools, it's hard to understand what a little school needs.
Right.
Yeah.
And so
Right.
Yep.
I have a heart for little schools.
Yeah.
I enjoy
Yeah.
being there. I just like
Yeah.
the environment, but I've worked in big schools and also understand that bureaucracy and how that
Yeah.
how those gears grind.
Right.
And
Yeah.
Right.
so it was it's been good. I've really enjoyed that part.
Yeah, and I think that, I mean, there's a lot of truth in that. I mean, you know, again, I started out at Jacksonville and then, you know, working Lakeside. And so, yeah, I mean, and a lot of days that's another thing about this job is just having the opportunity when those folks call. And if it's nothing more than just to listen to them.
Right.
You know, and I get, you know, from time to time, hey, am I thinking about this right? Or what do you think about this? Or, hey, I just called the vent.
Yeah.
You know,
That
so-
happens, and it's good that they have people
Oh,
like
yeah,
that because
absolutely.
as a
Right.
superintendent, you don't have a whole lot of people
Yeah.
you can talk with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lonely at the top.
I'm
huh?
telling
Yeah,
you.
Yeah.
yeah. But you know, as they used to say, you know, when they call a superintendent, it's not to tell you what a great job you're doing.
I'll promise you.
I
promise you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but again, you know, those lessons learned there, I think, you know, with us, you know, especially now having the opportunity to have the new soup mentoring and the new administrator mentoring. I mean, it's been good. I mean, to kind of reflect on that.
Oh yeah.
And the thing I absolutely love about education is the fact, although it's you know, one of the largest professions in the state, obviously, but it's such a small family when it gets right down to it.
Oh,
I
absolutely.
mean, you can pick the phone up and the relationships and the friendships that you make through the years. I mean, it's real easy. And again, in this spot, I mean, we're not under the gun like we were.
Right.
We have the time to help them think through and hopefully chase down.
Well, and you know how it is when you're in that tumultuous time, your mind may not be focusing on, and
Right.
we could be calm and we can say, hey, have you thought about this? And hey, you might want to look at this angle. And
Yeah, because you're not the one that's
yeah, we're not the one.
attacked,
Yeah, we're not the
or
one
whatever.
with adrenaline flowing, and
Yeah,
plus
exactly.
we've probably seen it before. So
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
that's a
Yeah.
big part of it.
Yeah, well, Saundra alluded to her story earlier, but what about you? If you wouldn't have been in education, what do you think what
Well,
would have been?
my whole family was accountants.
Oh, yeah.
My dad was an account CPA. My uncle
Yeah.
was the chairperson of the accounting department at UALR.
Yeah.
Grandfather. So I did that for a year at ASU and went back to Little Rock and got my internship and
Yeah.
thought, oh, dear God, somebody shoot me now.
Yeah.
My sister's
Yeah.
a CPA.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so-
My brother is. Yeah.
I got out of that and went back to ASU and said, Dad, I just want to coach. I just want to
Yeah.
teach. And so
Yeah.
he said, go do it. And
Yeah.
so that's how I ended up getting there. But
Awesome.
it was funny, you know, you think about those things, and at the time you think, oh, it's just a wasted year of my life
Yeah.
until you become superintendent
Right.
and you understand the financial side so much
Yeah.
better, and you think,
Oh yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
you hate to say it like that, this happens for a reason, and I
Oh,
was
yeah.
put on this path for
Right.
a
Yeah.
reason, and
Oh,
so
100%. You know, and I think about that too. With, you know, the radio TV background that I had. You know, just dealing with the public. You know, and then the opportunities I have now to go out and speak to folks and. You know, had I not gone down that path,
Right.
I mean, but that's what I mean. That was going to be my life. I started doing radio in high school, right? And so, but again, like you said, things happen for a reason. You know, God let me do what I wanted to. He said, "Man, you've had your fun."
that's right.
And put me in front of kids. You know, whether it be Red Ribbon Week, a career day, or something, and really got pulled into that.
Oh, yeah.
And honestly, I think, like you're saying, I appreciate it more going the path that I had versus not. So
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, it's amazing how that worked out, and then you know, like I said, just the family background, and then once you
Yeah.
get into the seat,
Yeah.
you start looking at stuff a little bit differently, and
Oh yeah.
and so it was it worked out exactly like it was supposed to,
Right.
in the
Right.
time frame it was supposed to,
Yeah.
and so
Yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely. That's the thing. Because Candace was going to be a pharmacist, right? That's.
Well, no, I was actually always
Ah.
wanted to be a teacher,
Uh,
but I was, a math teacher. So I get in college and I'm in this class called algebraic structures. Still gives me feces.
you'll bring up
Anyway,
hives, huh?
No numbers, like all proofs, and I was struggling. Like I had never super struggled with math until that class. I told my mom, I said, if I make a D in this class, I'm done. I'm switching to pharmacy because I was working as a pharmacy tech at Walmart. I worked through high school college all over in Walmart, but I was at the pharmacy at the time, and I said, I'm switching to pharmacy. And she said, anyway, I made a C. Became the math teacher, and my daughter said, Mom, like, there's no way you could have been a pharmacist because they sit in front of that computer and they're filling script. She said, you're too ADD for that, like ADHD. She said, you'd be going nuts. You couldn't do it. I was like, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I could see you giving the wrong prescription to the wrong person.
Listen,
very easily.
Or going, how many I put in there? Crap, count them again. One.
Okay,
Exactly.
that's exactly. I had to do that several times, and then I'd always, like, triple check myself to make sure I had the right medicine because, super ADHD.
You know, that being said, you count pills. She reads an email 4 times before she sends it, which is it's good because a lot of times I'll just keep going and go, "Oops, left that word out." That sounds
completely left that word out.
Yeah, exactly. But that's what I do to make her shine. You know, exactly. So
because you're a giver, right?
Exactly, 100%.
He's just a giver.
100%.
Scott, you're about to get kicked off this podcast.
That's what I want to be.
Exactly.
I want to grow up to be just like him.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
We threaten him a lot like that. Kicking him off the
I can
island.
imagine.
Oh, it's rough some days. Like I say, 9 women. We got 2 bathrooms, a male and female, and they keep telling me they're gonna sneak in there and change and make
when he's not there, we actually do use his bathroom all the time.
So I do what I can to
don't
keep
care.
them out. Like well, first of all, we were. Where were we going? Oh, we're going to Henderson, and there's a speaker laying out there because we have this like thrift shop behind us in the alley.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, "Man, look at that speaker, dude! It's on a stand." And they're like, "It's broken.
Katie,
why are you picking that up?" And I threw it in the back of the vehicle until we get back. And lo and behold, it worked. It's a Bluetooth that's got lights.
I had gone to lunch, and then he sends me a text message,
Yeah.
and it's like, what was the song you said? Something, oh my gosh, it's the power. I don't remember. What was the song you sent? And I was like, I've got the power.
Yeah.
I've got the power.
Yeah.
And it was like lighting up, and I like lost it. I was laughing so hard. I was like, only you.
We are taking a long path to get to my how I'm in it. But anyway, so she gets back from lunch and says, "Hey, I need some help. I had this Christmas tree that I gave to my daughter, but she wants to donate it. She says it's too big." Yeah, it looked like 2 body bags.
It was really big.
I mean, we're dragging them down, literally dragging them down the alley.
Down the alley.
That looked good, didn't it?
And
I
then
said, if this is on camera, people are going to be like,
Body bags.
Yeah. And lo and behold, just like the North Star sitting there on a phone pole was a football helmet from a school in like New Jersey or somewhere.
Yeah,
I
it was
think.
somewhere, somebody that either OBU or HSU had played, I guess.
But it was a Seahawk, and I said, "Man, this is awesome." So I took it back, put it in the restroom where it sits today, hopefully, but it hadn't worked.
So pretty soon, his office is going to be just like going to a flea market.
That's
just
right.
walk in and find you something that you want,
Hey,
you know.
I'm telling you, that day things happen, like I say, for a reason.
Worked
so,
out.
Yeah,
Worked out for you.
Yeah. But I'm sure you can relate to this too. But you never lack for fashion advice, any of that. You know?
Yes, trust me.
Yeah, I'll walk in and they'll go, "Oh, I like your outfit," and I'm like, "Dudes don't wear outfits."
We don't wear outfits. They're not outfits. No.
we
It's the
are
first
not.
2 things that we found that were clean.
Exactly. Yeah. This one didn't.
Yeah.
Pass the smell test. Yeah. Either that or the day I look really good, they're like, "Okay, Tanya, that's my wife. She dressed you." I said, "Well,
Oh, no
Yeah.
doubt.
there's
Yes.
that." Yeah.
Well, I'm not going to lie to you. She's the one that made sure we dressed like she goes, "You
I
wear your
see.
T-shirt tomorrow.
That's
Don't forget your
I'm
T-shirt."
so glad
Hey,
you did.
that's
I was-
her.
yeah.
Same thing. She'll tell me when we need to dress like that kind of thing. So,
Yeah.
but yeah.
You know,
When
keep
Scott
you in
first
line.
started, he came in. He said, "Okay, so if I do something stupid, you come in there and tell me. I don't wear my feelings on my sleeve. Like if I wear something stupid, you say, Scott, that looks stupid. Don't wear that again.'"
Yeah, exactly.
That's awesome.
That's right. Yeah.
And
Well,
you're probably like me, and you don't even
like,
pay attention half the
I'm
time what
not
people
gonna
are
say
wearing.
that.
Yeah.
Well, the good news is that I didn't even have to have that discussion with them. They were telling me that already.
So you got there, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Now, one
Yeah.
day he did walk in. I don't know what he was wearing. Was it like sweats? And I was like, well, dang, is this dress down Wednesday or what? Because it was like a middle of the week. And he goes, well, got to leave early for an appointment or something.
Yeah,
Anyway, it
yeah.
was physical therapy or
Yeah,
something. I was laughing
yeah,
because I'm
yeah.
like, dang, we dressing down on Wednesday now.
Yeah. So, but I'm telling you, she takes advantage. Just dress down any day for Candace.
Yeah, I wish.
so,
I'm
yeah.
like all about it.
Well, see, I can't because this one's a clothes horse.
Is she?
It is a clothes horse.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
it.
Oh, that would be Katie.
Katie.
Yeah, exactly.
Not
Yeah.
me. I'm like, give me what I would wear Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I'm good.
Yeah. I literally had to tell Katie, if you buy 1 more ounce of pink ink, I'm cutting your budget. Yeah.
I love pink. Hey, keep it up. Don't stop.
Didn't you just wear
Exactly.
some pink pants or a shirt just the
I
other
did,
day?
and you were like, I need sunglasses for those pants.
I feel like I got my retinas burned.
Hey, I could do you one better. She does that with sparkles.
Oh, I love that too.
Oh,
We were putting our Christmas tree up at home, and my son, there's glitter everywhere. My son looked at my husband's like, "Do you poop glitter, Dad?"
Yeah, exactly. That's true. That's a good question. Yeah, exactly.
That is great.
Yeah. Well,
Hey, this is like being back at Dawson. This
well,
is
I
like
know. I started to say there are days when Katie works in and she got glitter on her face, and I'm thinking somebody had a great weekend. I mean, hey, I'm just
Nobody's
saying.
judging.
That's
no,
right.
Nobody's
no
judging.
judgment, no
That's right.
judgment here.
Exactly.
She said Papa's a hater. In case they couldn't hear that on there.
Yeah. I tell you what, you work a week with you two, it will age you quickly. I'm just saying that. And the guy,
Maybe.
and the guy that, and this guy's the one that deserves the biggest medal, Michael. He puts up with it, and I mean just driving.
That's I said how many windshield hours they have together just trying to get across the state.
Yeah, and
I know.
We
Michael,
appreciate them.
He's one of those guys that I mean, he's hunting kind of guy, and again, he's like me. He'll walk in. We quit asking what's funny because they tell you. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, don't ask then, huh?
Yeah. Exactly. So yeah.
Oh gosh.
So, like I said, being here, I mean, co-op, if you had to narrow down, let's just say, a skill set that you guys are maybe great at, what would it be? I mean, this co-op, with your schools, that kind of thing.
I think we communicate very well with our superintendents. We got a really good group that have not only come up together because our room is pretty young right now,
right?
But a lot of us have worked together in different spots.
Yeah,
and that allows us to communicate so much easier and freely.
Yeah, right.
And you can just come in and say, hey, this is what we see, or hey, can you help me with this? And it's really nice just to be able to have that conversation and not feel judged or not.
Right.
I mean, so
exactly.
that's the best thing we do here is, especially after our board meetings, of course you're eating lunch and you just communicate, and we learn so much more sitting around talking to each other than we do during the meetings.
Yeah. That's a great point, because I think that probably when I came on the co-op, this is year 6, so I had been at 5 of our districts. I'd worked in 5 of our districts, and never did I think I would be, but when you get in administration, you kind of hop around a little bit, but that was so beneficial because I knew so many people.
Right.
Well, then they start to retire, and it does matter because you've got to build those relationships again, which we've got a great, our board, our superintendents are fantastic, but it does make it a lot easier when you walk in and you already have all the,
the
third of those, you got those connections,
absolutely.
and you start building the others.
Right.
So.
Well, and the other conversation I think that we're now having and being co-ops, that is, being included, more and more with the department. I think that's something that speaks to the, in my 10 years, again, I've seen leadership change in the co-ops, and really and truly, I say this, but I mean it. I mean, are working more closely together than they ever have, and I think that speaks to the quality of folks that are in those seats now, and I'll exclude myself from the group. But what I would say there is the fact is the vast amount of knowledge that those backgrounds bring to the table.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And the thing about education, period. I mean, there's enough for everybody to get involved in.
Oh yeah.
So.
Yeah.
There's always something to be done. I mean, it's not there's
something somewhere.
Right.
Yeah, and like I say, again, alluded to it earlier, but just being able to know what they've gone through. You've been through similar experiences from time to time. I mean, and again, a lot of times it's if nothing else, just to say, okay, hey, take it down a notch. We got this.
Yeah.
And where do we dig in? So.
And something I've experienced just being in the co-op role or even in the TCC role is some admin or an IF will call and have a situation and tell us, and they feel so comforted when we can say, you're not the only ones experiencing that.
Yeah.
That's going on. There's
Right.
other districts. There's other buildings,
Yeah.
and they're like, oh, I thought I was the
Yeah.
worst, or I thought that's
Yeah.
this is the only place that happens. And so,
Yeah.
being on this side of that and get to comfort
Sure.
Yeah.
that you're not on an island by yourself
Right.
is helpful and
Yeah.
comforting to them.
Very
Yeah.
helpful.
And one of the things that I've found to be true too about districts is this: whereas they used to be somewhat competitive, but now I mean everybody's working together. I mean, if they got a great something going on, they want to share it. Where it hadn't always been like that.
Oh no, no.
You know, so I think it's been kind of cool to watch that transition. And like I say, you know, at the end of the day, you know, just keeping your eye on what matters, and that's those kids.
Yeah.
Right? You know.
Yeah, I was going to say the majority of educators that's their focus is the kiddos. So
Yeah.
Right,
that's
except for
awesome.
you.
No,
and,
whatever.
And it's all about what can Candace do to make Candace look good today, right?
If
So-
anybody watches this and they truly believe that you
Yeah.
are saying the truth over there,
well,
speaking the
here's
truth.
what I'm going to say. If anybody knows you,
Yeah, whatever.
hey, I'm not telling.
he did choose to hire you
Yeah,
twice.
That's true.
So he knew
That's
something.
true.
He had a
He knew
chance
what
to
he
get
was
rid of you
getting.
one
No.
time, but
I told you, not the smartest guy in the room. You know, that's obvious.
I was trying to say you were smart. You should have taken that compliment.
Yeah, but that's not true. So, you know, let's talk about. I mean, especially being a coach. I know you've had a embarrassing moment or two. Let's talk about pull one of those out real quick.
well,
Or something fun you've done, because I know that you've probably
Yeah.
done something crazy. Kiss pigs. And
we've all kissed pigs.
Yeah.
You know, we've,
Mm-hmm.
you know, I'm not going to lie. This is I worked at 7 different districts.
Yeah.
So I've worked all over here. You know,
Yeah.
you're talking about
Yeah.
living 4.
Yeah.
So I've worked in 4 of the current districts, and we had the 2 that are dead. That's 6.
Uh-huh.
Right.
But one of my funnest jobs was my best jobs was when I went to Little Rock for a year. Father had a heart attack, and so we went back to help and worked at the time it was Oak Grove High School,
Yeah.
Maumelle
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
And Darren McFadden was a sophomore,
Oh yeah.
so he was in one of my classes.
Cool.
We got to hang out, and he's
Yeah.
a great kid. And
Yeah, that's awesome.
of course, at the time,
Yeah.
you know, you watch him play and think, well, he's pretty freaking good.
Yeah.
But then
Yeah.
to see him go on, and
yeah,
Right.
so
that's really
Yeah.
neat.
that was one of those things that, you know,
That's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
you know, when he playing for the Cowboys, my
Yeah.
son would watch and go, played
Yeah.
21 with him for
Yeah.
a whole year. I mean, he played
Yeah.
basketball and football and
Oh,
everything
yeah.
else. So
Yeah, that would be a cool. Yeah,
That's
that'd be a great
neat.
memory.
Yeah.
We were coming back from a conference one time at Fountain Lake, had a team with us, and somebody goes, I think that guy, shouldn't we know him? And it was Darren McFadden.
Yeah.
Here he is riding on Southwest with us, just as humble a guy that
Oh,
you
yeah.
could possibly.
Yeah.
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 well, and you know, when you've been in it, this is my 33rd
Yeah.
year, and my kids laugh because we can't go anywhere that somebody doesn't come up and go,
Yeah.
hey, coach, or
Yeah.
hey,
Yeah.
Mr.
Especially at
Gauntt." Yeah.
6
Yeah.
districts.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
and of course,
Yeah.
it's hard to remember names because the last time you saw them, they were in 5th grade.
Yeah.
Now they're 30
Exactly.
years old. And,
Exactly.
and of course, you know, it's one of those, I'll talk to them a little bit and try to
Yeah.
figure out where
Oh,
they're
yeah.
from. And then
Yeah.
they'll leave. My kids will go, you have no idea who that was, do you? I go,
Same.
nope.
Yeah.
I know I know they
Yeah.
were over there at Hoxie or Walnut
Yeah.
Ridge or one of those schools.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Or my favorite is,
Ugh.
you remember that time I was in your office, and I sure
Oh,
do.
yeah, oh, boy, yeah.
Yeah. I hope you learn from that.
That's right.
Yeah.
I know, because I always
Yeah.
feel bad because
Yeah.
I'm like, gosh, and I have the worst memory anyway. But yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
but at the same time, it's kind of fun. You know,
Yeah, it is
we're
fun.
having a training right now next door, and we're standing there as they come in yesterday, and I'm looking at this one young lady.
Yeah.
She's not a girl. And I looked at Saundra and said, I should know her.
Yeah.
And sure enough, she played for me,
Yeah.
years
Oh,
ago.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
so,
yeah,
but it's great that you can impact people.
Yes.
And you know,
Yeah.
I enjoy that part of it.
best
and,
part. Yep.
And then you do see people that imprinted on us.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
And you
Oh,
see
yeah.
them, they're doing well, and they're doing
Yeah.
great things in life, and it
Yeah.
kind of, you know, gives you a little pride because you had a small piece of that,
Small
you hope.
part.
Right.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Yep.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Well, let's get back to the original question. I want some embarrassing
Oh,
stories
yeah.
here because we all have them, right? That you can
Oh, I
tell
have
for
one.
sure.
All right.
one.
Well,
I will
he's
share.
thinking. You go
Yes.
ahead.
You
Okay.
think, surely you have one.
you go. Yeah. Oh, I've got more than I can. There's so many that I'm trying to figure out
Okay.
what it is.
So, because we talked about this one this week, and so I was in the classroom, second, third year, maybe teaching. So it wasn't real old at that point. So the kids are a lot younger than me, and was teaching all day. And at lunchtime, a coworker calls me. She's a good friend of mine. We had phones. She calls didn't have cell phones. Called my classroom and said, "Hey, my son her son came over at lunch, and he was just too embarrassed to tell you, but I am telling you that the seat of your pants is busted out, and he could describe your underwear to me. I'm like, oh no. And so of course the next day I was like, I can't believe none of you told me. And then my husband's like, did you not feel air? Did you feel the breeze? I was like, no, I didn't.
Busy teaching.
No one told me. You don't get to go to the bathroom the first half of the day.
Yes.
I was like, oh. So I was mortified. I was like, I cannot go in and face that. I can't go in that school tomorrow. I can't.
Just go in and laugh it off and be like, okay.
Yes. And then, scold it all in private. So I will tell you. But now let's move on.
It could have been worse. Can't you tell them yours?
Oh, when I said we had a potluck or something, I set in apparently some chocolate in the seat.
Oh,
So look, it was across my pants. But I taught 8th and 9th graders, and I'm just teaching away, and one of the kids did say, Miss Bennett, I think you got something on the back of your pants. I'm like, it'll be fine. And I'm just like, I kept going. Well, my co-teacher had popped in the room to see if she was asking me a question about something, and I'm like, hey, I was like, kid said I had something on my pants. She was like, so I was like, I'll be right back. So she watched my class. I go in the bathroom. I have to take them off. Then I'm like, oh my gosh, because it was just like a line going across this way. So I'm get a wet paper towel, and then so the butt of my pants are soaking wet. So I walked back in. I said, all right, get it over with. And they just busted out laughing because it looked like I peed my pants. Yeah. And then then I just started teaching. They were just like, it's just like laugh and let's move on.
Yes.
So it could be worse.
It could be worse.
Yeah.
It could be worse.
Yes.
But,
just laugh and go on.
One of my best stories is, of course, I started at Black Rock, across the Black River, and I was from Bryant. Yeah. So quite a cultural change.
Oh, yeah, that would be a change.
And so I was a science teacher. Got my science hours, and that's it's one of those things. He interviews me and says, "Can you teach science?" You dang straight I can.
Yeah, that's right.
And then you go home and go, "Oh crap, I got to teach science."
Oh yeah.
But it's a rural area, and they were always bringing in animals.
Yeah.
Like it would be nothing for them to bring in a stillborn calf and just throw it on the table, and we'd dissect it and look at it. And
oh
so
my gosh.
The best story though. So we had cattle, we had beavers one time. But the funny one, this farmer comes up, hey, I got this armadillo here. Y'all want it? Sure. So me and these two boys go out to the parking lot thinking that it's dead.
Yeah.
It's not dead. It's wrapped around a tree hanging in his trash can. Now, this is how long ago this was.
Yeah.
I said, is it still alive? He goes, oh, yeah, but hang on a second. Pulls out his .22 in the school parking lot.
My gosh.
Shoots it. Doesn't kill it, though. Knocks the trash can over. Off goes the armadillo, slinging blood everywhere. My two high school boys are chasing after it in the school parking lot. Looked like a murder scene.
Oh, my gosh.
And I go back, and of course, boy just picks it up by the tail. And he's like, I got it, coach. I got it. I'm like, it's one of the go home
and
calls.
You're like, where am I right now?
Dad.
You're not going to believe what just happened today.
Absolutely.
So
that's awesome.
Yeah, it was.
That is awesome.
That happened quite often at Black Rock and Delaplane too. I mean, at Delaplane, my boys are all duck hunters.
Oh yeah.
And they would go duck hunting in the morning and just roll into school in their waders.
Yeah.
And I'd go
with a gun in the truck.
Oh yeah, hanging up in the back of the truck, and it was, hey coach, had a good day. You want some duck? Yeah, they just get them, throw them in the bed of my truck. Just.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
But that was back in the the mid '90s when it was a little different world.
Yeah. Now that you mention it, I think one of the things that at Jessville one time, they used to at lunch, like you say, that's when they'd want to pull up, but had a wild hog he'd killed. And I mean, everybody was around the truck. And they're like, "What is that?"
Yeah.
So
I did not like the dissection units when I was in school. No.
Oh yeah.
I know y'all loved it.
The two beavers were funny because we took a big pole school wide. Of course, you can't tell a beaver's genitalia is interior, and we took a school wide pole of what they were, boys and girls. But we named them Bucky and Becky because there was one boy and girl. And I mean, it was a great deal. We had a blast. It was just amazing.
Good times.
Oh, it was great times. Great times.
Those good old days.
Yeah.
Good old days.
Back in the good old days when you could do that.
Just kill animals in the front of the school and take it in and dissect them.
Yeah. Hey, that's what you call learning on the go, right
there. There you go. That's
I'll never forget. Her name was Miss Madlock, and she was awesome. And she must have looked at me and went, what are you doing, boy? I mean, but she was great with me, and she kind of led me along. And
that's awesome.
So,
And maybe that's why everything's online now. You think dissection, all those things are online now. So
Yep.
I can remember, though, like even dissecting the frogs and everybody getting at each other with the scalpels and stuff. I'm like, oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
I know.
We're slinging frog parts on each other.
Oh,
and-
yeah. One of the we were in chemistry, and they did the little test tube where they, mix the gases up and pop the cork out. So I was in there with my brother, who's 2 years older than I am, our next door neighbor, and one other guy. So we thought, well, if that's cool, what about if we take that big 5-gallon jug and pack it full and stick it out the window? And we did. And I mean, it went whoo. And he came back there, and I thought, man, if we'd have done that today.
Oh, Lord. Yeah.
Oh, Lord. So.
Yeah, that's the fun part about doing it. We took a class in college. Man, this friend of mine who is in insurance and makes 4 times what I make,
Yeah.
but he couldn't pass zoology, and without zoology, he couldn't get his degree.
Right.
So we took zoology together, and I drug him to class and drug him to the lab class, but he was notorious for never studying. I mean, he just wouldn't. So we were cutting open a starfish or something, and I just took all the guts out of the starfish and put it in his book and shut it. He didn't see it.
Yeah.
He takes it, puts it in his car. We were roommates, and a couple days later he goes, man, my car smells terrible. I go, wait a minute, because I knew he had studied, and so sure enough, that book had just sat there, and it was god awful. He goes, I can't believe it does. I can't believe you don't study.
Yeah.
But of course, like I said, now he's
Learn
making
your
almost,
lesson.
he's making 4 times what I make.
Yeah,
and
joke's on you, right?
Yeah, joke's on me, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
But those are funny times.
Well, I thought about this the other day. I heard somebody ask this on a other podcast, but they said, hey, have you ever had a nickname? And if so, what was it?
Well, my nickname was Chester Shannon. I don't know if you know Chester Shannon is Superintendent Tuckerman. He was the boys' coach at Black Rock when I got there. And so he gave me a nickname just because my name Gauntt is kind of difficult to say. So just people I used to play softball with, they used to call me Goat.
Yeah.
Because we needed more farm animals on the team.
Goat. See, you're
And
never going to get
it wasn't the goat. This was before the goat was the goat. I was just Goat.
Yeah, but no, you need to use that from now on.
Yeah.
The goat.
So Chester still
We'll
calls
add a new name on his back.
Yeah.
So Chester still calls me and said, "What's up, Goat?"
Yeah.
That's great.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What about you?
Lambo was always it stuck. There was
I
have a cousin that teaches in another school district, and the boys were called Lambo. I don't know, it just always stuck.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. What
Miss
about
Lambo
you?
or Lambo.
I don't even.
Well, I mean, my nickname is Candy, but
Yeah.
like, you know what I'm saying? But then I was Miss B. Hopefully it was
Yeah.
not
Yeah,
the
that's right.
that way.
I don't know. But yeah.
And then I had oh gosh, she was probably a junior or senior at Malvern, would call me Benny Bones.
Benny Bones. Yeah.
She still does. Like if I see
Yeah.
her in Walmart, because I was like you. I started teaching in high school, and I just turned 22. And so I had 18-year-olds, and anyway, closer to their age, teaching with all my old teachers. But anyway, it was really funny.
Benny
So she's still
Bones.
Benny
Benny
Bones. She'll still say it. We just crack up if I see her. I love it. Love her.
Well, mine was Butterworth in college because we lived over in Twin Towers.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah. Twin toilets.
Yeah, exactly.
Twin toilets.
Yeah, I had a black guy that couldn't pronounce Beckwith to save his life, so that became Butterweight is how he would say it, and so it
So
kind of
that was your name.
Yeah, Butterworth, and it shrunk down to Butter at some point, but yeah.
Yeah.
but the funny thing about nicknames though is when you get those when people call you by that, I mean it brings you back in time, right? When, where you were when they called.
Absolutely.
And what they said. So
I always do I mean, I don't know. I feel like if I use nicknames, the more nicknames you have, the more I like you, I guess.
That's
Yes.
right.
That's what my daughter had to tell. She's like, if mom gives you a nickname to my son-in-law, she's like, that's a good sign. You know, when they were dating or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah.
if you get a nickname, it's a good sign.
So best piece of advice you got and the worst piece of advice you got.
Best piece is just come to work every day and try to get a little bit better.
Yeah.
Every day, just show up and try to do a little bit better. And you're going to try that, and some days you're going to be better, and some days you're not.
Right.
But then you come back the next day and you try to be better than you were yesterday.
Right.
Yep. That's good.
Teaching is not. It's a hard job.
It is.
And you got to be ready for everything that comes at you. And not only are you a content specialist, but you're a counselor, you're a parent, you do all these things. And some of these kids, and like I used to try to tell my staff, is you never know what things will come out of your mouth that's going to impact that kid sitting there. And
That's
just
right.
just to say something nice to them maybe the only thing they hear that whole day, and just, to be that person for those kids.
Absolutely.
And it cost us nothing. When
Right.
you're standing in the hallway and you see a kid play football, hey man, great game last night.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if he played at all.
Right.
Yeah.
And it cost me nothing, but he's going to respond to that, and
For sure.
that, I always tried to embody that. And the other thing is, the worst piece of advice is don't go into that teacher's lounge. Just don't go.
Yeah.
I
right.
mean, a lot of times there's so many bad things, negative attitudes. We
Right.
generate the energy we need.
Oh,
and
right.
so
Yeah, you
That's
change
good.
the attitude.
make
try to
sure
change
make
them.
sure you're the positive change.
Yeah.
It's real
Yep.
easy to get in that negative mindset,
Yeah.
and it starts this downhill slide.
Yep.
Be the one that turns the corner, and
Yep.
that's what
Yeah.
kids need.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Saundra, what about you?
I'd say best piece of advice is one of my favorite words is intentional, and so it's live a life, whether that's personal or in your job, with intentionality. Have a purpose, even in teaching. What's your purpose of the day? Is get through that purpose, and so to be intentional, or not to just to fly by and enjoy every moment. I think the worst piece of advice is. So I do a lot of classroom discipline or management, and don't smile till Christmas. And so
Yeah, we talked about that.
sometimes it's just
It's-
that's not what it's about.
No.
Yeah.
It's setting
Yeah.
expectations and being consistent with those,
Yeah.
and it's not being harsh and
No.
Yeah.
Because you can be
forceful
very structured and disciplined with love.
and kind.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So.
My best and worst is one and the same. Hire Candace. So,
Just depends on the day, right?
Yeah,
That's
it
right.
does.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Candace.
It absolutely.
Poor Candy.
That's
it
right.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I know. Everybody
Yeah.
feels sorry for me now.
Yeah. But
That's
you,
to lose my head-
you said
my
purpose,
headset.
and I'm in Fountain Lake. Somebody gave me the book one time, One Word, right? And so we've been doing it since then. Purpose was mine last year, and one of the things that we give to new teachers there at the 2 4-year schools we have with teachers is a journal. I mean, because I say I'm a big journaler. I don't know if you can call what I do journal. I've got like 20 plus laying around. My wife is like, you drive me insane, put them all together kind of thing. And I'm like, what a great gift when I'm dead and gone every time you think,
Yeah.
But as far as the purpose piece, we had a kid come through for the first time this year, and he's in his internship. He said, man, that was great that you told me that. He said, I've actually taken the time to do that. And I said, in looking back, I wish I would have started earlier.
Oh yeah.
And but yeah, and so this year it's my word is move. You see something, move on it. Don't wait on somebody else. And we were it jokingly on the way up this morning. We stopped and took a refreshment break, and a guy comes up, hey man, I need a biscuit, and I'm like, okay, here's $5. And Candace goes, he's not going to go get a biscuit or whatever. And I said,
I was like, you should have just went in and bought a biscuit.
I said, that's between him and Jesus.
That's
Yeah.
right. I've done my part.
That's right, exactly. So I moved and got it done. But it's a lot of times that one word, it sounds so simple, but it's so true. It really
absolutely.
is. And really for me, the reason what I love about that one word, I mean, I'll wear it or have it displayed somewhere, but I mean, it brings me in pretty quick. And so doing it one word at a time is a pretty easy way to do it. So we'll wrap up with, music, your playlist. We hop in your car. We'll start with you on this, Saundra. What are we going to be hearing
Right now, Christmas music. It's been on.
oh, Lord, I'm with you on that.
Christmas music from November 1.
Yeah.
I listen to it at home, putting the tree up in the car, and all the family's like, oh, Christmas music
I'm
again.
not a big Christmas music person either. Like,
I love it.
Not in
occasionally.
November. Not in
Well,
November.
well, that's what I'm saying.
November.
Can we get to Thanksgiving?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Can we be thankful before we start asking?
I'm
for
thankful
gifts?
for Christmas
right.
music.
Do you
That's
have
right.
trees up here yet?
Up here, none
Not
here.
yet.
But at my
Yeah.
house, yes.
Yeah.
5 at my house.
Well, and that's what I'm saying. I mean, Thanksgiving, not even a holiday anymore. We go from Halloween to Christmas. You
I
know.
know.
And
Yeah.
then it's the day Christmas is over to be Valentine's Day.
Exactly.
So,
Yeah.
so what about you? What kind of music?
I'm really into Rush right now. I want to go see it. They're going on concert.
Oh, are
tour
they?
again?
Okay.
Yeah. So
Gotcha.
Oh,
Okay.
Awesome.
Yeah,
That's
little Tom
awesome.
Sawyer.
That's
yeah,
right.
That's
Yeah.
right.
That's
yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
What about
I
you
love
guys?
it.
What's music for you guys?
Oh
I'm
my
all
gosh.
over the road. I mean, when I worked in radio, it was country. So I love 90s country,
I was
right?
going to say this new stuff's
yeah.
not country.
Yeah. So that some classic rock. I'll listen to gospel, and when I say gospel, praise and worship, and then our bookkeeper she's black, and so we change music all the time, and sometimes she comes in some great stuff, and I'm like, wow, and then we share stuff. And so it could be anything. Usually I may start the day out K-Love until I get cut off, and then I got to go to the hard rock.
That's right.
Like if I pull my playlist right now, like just everything, it's just such a mix.
Yeah.
It's like we were talking about Zach Williams on the way up here, but I mean I've got like, Nelly, Guns N' Roses.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's her nickname, Bud Nelly.
Mercy.
But
Mercy.
Yeah, it is.
Mercy Me. I mean, like, it's just like everything. Prince.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's so all over the place.
But the best thing, honestly, we'll kind of wrap up with this about being at the co-op is being in a place with like-minded people, really and truly, focus on that purpose of making a difference. And like one day I was in there, and I don't even remember what it was, but I had music going because I have speakers blasting in my office because they'll walk in some days and go, we have people in the building. I'm like, well, I hope they like Michael Jackson today.
That's right.
But I don't even know. It was all over the place. It was just some rando I'd picked off Apple Music. And then Achy Breaky Heart starts playing. Next thing I know, there's Veronica, my bookkeeper, Nisi, that we're raising up to be the next bookkeeper, and Candace in there doing some kind of, I don't know.
Electric slide.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. I was like, and Candace said it best, though. She said, don't you just love your job?
Yeah.
I said,
As we're doing the electric slide, it was like, it was awesome. 10 minutes, and we were like, okay, yeah, we're great.
Like
we're
a brain
good to go.
break, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We used to do that when Donald Westerman. If we were having, he was the principal at Fountain Lake that Darren hired, then they hired me as his assistant high school principal. And if we were just having a really crappy day, because, some days were just really bad.
Yeah.
So I'd walk in his office. I'm like, it's time for some country grammar. So we would jam it. And then Kathy, our front secretary, she would be dying laughing. But we would just back there jam it for just a second. And we're like, okay, we're good to go. Let's go.
Yeah.
We can finish the day out.
Yeah.
Let's do this.
And that's the cool thing about music is obviously it changes your mood and
Oh, yeah,
attitude,
absolutely.
anything. So, but I'm all over the place. Well, thanks for the invite for us coming up
Yeah, you
here,
guys
man.
are
This
great.
is
Of course.
And
This is incredible, by the way. We weren't prepared for all this.
Yeah. Well,
I mean,
yeah.
I mean, this is incredible, though. This
Yeah.
is
They're
this is-
great.
yeah.
They get it all. I mean,
I
it takes them like
roadies,
5 minutes.
The roadies got here 15 minutes before y'all did and set things up. And
Well,
Yeah.
and this is what they tell us now. If y'all will just give us like 20 minutes and just show up, because we can start plugging in stuff, and they have to go behind us. And,
They don't
and
like it. They're like, just
Stop.
show up.
Yeah.
Just show up.
But to Michael's credit, we literally started out with like 2 microphones and like 1 camera, but as this thing grew, and I mean, because it used to be the 2 of us and 1 person, and then we started adding it. But the thing about the road piece for us is this is a great way to highlight schools and all things education, because we've got a studio down there, but it's worked out better to go on the road and meet those folks, like a teacher on her break or whatever, like conference or whatever.
Right.
Or a kid can only be, at a certain time, highlight those kids. So it's worked out well, and we love doing. We ain't gonna lie. This is, again, it's brain break for us.
Yeah.
Oh,
And I
absolutely.
can work in the car, so
Yeah.
it works out a little
Yeah,
bit. So.
and you guys have the honor of being the final one of the
the 40
40 years
tour.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was a senior in high school when co-ops were a thing.
Wow.
Yeah. So I mean it was.
I was in elementary, 11.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I was 11. You were 11
Early.
too, Saundra. Probably the same age. You graduated high school in 92. We're
did.
the same age.
So was
Yeah.
that may have been when you were in court school. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. But
Whatever.
Yeah.
And listen, and we're gonna have to get serious and start practicing because we got to take down the
yeah.
bosses
that's right.
at the
Yeah.
toss
That's right.
over here.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it'll be okay. Y'all
Yeah.
can finish second. It's
Yeah,
all good.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
There's no
Well,
We'd be
disgrace
happy
being
with-
second.
Hey, I will tell you
We've been
though,
happy with second. We didn't even.
Hey, no, we didn't. Yeah, we sucked
Yeah.
hard.
Yeah,
quick.
big
Yeah.
time.
But I will say this: the thing that we talked about, it was refreshing to find somebody there that talks as much crap as we do. Because hey, that first year, man, they hated us.
Oh,
And
yeah.
when I tell you we were pitiful. But we just got in their head or whatever, and
It was crazy.
I called Candace, calling her husband, like she's like,
You're not
Scott,
gonna believe
you're not going to believe this, but we're getting ready to go into the finals. and he told her, well, everybody else must really suck.
That's what he I was like, thanks, babe. Thanks.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Like a sport, right?
It was
but
so
here's the
funny.
deal. He wasn't lying.
No. I know. It was so funny.
Yeah.
Oh, good
we,
times.
we appreciate the invite, appreciate what y'all do. And like
Yes.
I say, I mean, you know, it's a great time to be in education.
Absolutely.
It really is.
Absolutely.
You
Yep.
know, and that's the thing, you know, this is our 30th year that we're working on right here. But again, every year, I've been blessed enough to, you know, to move in a different direction when I needed it, or, you know,
Yeah.
but again, it's the people that I think that, you know, we talk about education being such in Arkansas, it's a large, one of the larger occupations for sure. But to your point earlier, when you get right down to it, it's a small family.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Yep.
you know, just
Awesome.
don't dig too deep into Candace's, you know, so. But thank y'all very much. And
Yeah,
so,
we enjoyed it.
yeah. And Candace, you want to say anything since we're putting
No.
a wrap on this thing
No.
for the road show
No.
here?
Road show is done.
Stay
Yeah.
humble.
yeah. Yeah. Okay. Hey, you know you're getting that T-shirt, right? For sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Well, that's going to wrap it up for the 40 years of co-ops, the road show, and for sure this episode, which we learned was episode 101.
101.
We broke 100 today. So
That's
Triple
awesome.
digits.
Yeah. And ironically, 101. That's like 3 more numbers than viewers we have on this podcast. Well, again,
I love it.
Yeah, this is going to wrap it up for Spilling the Tea in Studio D.